Have you ever looked at a glass of milk and thought, that's the gold standard for strong bones, only to wonder, is it really? If you're like many people over 60, you might already be trying to get more calcium into your diet. Maybe you started taking supplements, drinking more milk, or even browsing the dairy aisle with a little more enthusiasm than you used to. But here's something surprising. There are everyday foods out there, yes, some right in your kitchen, that actually pack more calcium than milk. And they come with extra perks your body will thank you for. Now, before we dive into those foods, let me ask you something. Do your knees creak a little more than they used to when you get up from your favorite chair? Have you ever hesitated at the bottom of the stairs, just taking a moment because you weren't sure how your joints would handle it today? That's not just getting older. It's often a sign your bones are craving a little more support. And here's the good news. You don't need to overhaul your entire life. Small, delicious changes can make a world of difference. See, our bones aren't just support beams holding us up. They're living tissue. They need fuel. And while milk is often seen as the hero of bone health, it's far from the only one. In fact, some of the best sources of calcium, and ones that are often easier to digest for those of us with sensitive stomachs, don't come in a carton at all. Let's start with a food that might already be sitting in your pantry: sesame seeds. Yep, those tiny little seeds sprinkled on your burger bun or sushi roll. They're packed with calcium, about 88 milligrams in just 1 tablespoon. Compare that to milk, which has about 125 milligrams in half a cup, and you'll see how quickly those numbers add up. But it's not just about calcium. Sesame seeds also bring in magnesium and phosphorus, both essential for helping your body use that calcium. Try adding a spoonful of tahini, which is sesame seed paste, to your salad dressing or morning smoothie. It's creamy, nutty, and gives you a bone-loving boost with barely any effort. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, that sounds fancy, but I'm more of a simple meal type of person. Fair enough. Let's talk about white beans. Whether it's navy beans, Great Northern, or even cannellini, these humble little legumes offer a hearty dose of calcium. Just 1 cup of cooked white beans has nearly 160 milligrams of calcium. That's more than a glass of milk. And here's where it gets even better. They're also rich in fiber and protein, so they help keep you full and your digestion happy. Try them in soups. Mash them into a spread with a bit of olive oil and lemon juice, or toss them into a salad for a little extra heft. But maybe beans aren't your thing. Maybe you're craving something green, something that feels alive, fresh, and full of vitality. Enter kale. Yes, kale has been riding a wave of popularity for years now, and for good reason. 1 cooked cup of kale gives you about 180 milligrams of calcium. That's more than in a slice of cheese. And the calcium in kale is especially easy for your body to absorb. Plus, kale also contains vitamin K, which plays a crucial role in bone metabolism. So, the next time you're whipping up dinner, try sauteing some kale in garlic and olive oil. It takes just minutes, and your bones will thank you for it. You know, when we're young, we think bones are like stone, tough, unbreakable, always going to be there for us. But the truth is, they're more like a bank account. Every day, you're either making deposits or withdrawals. And once we hit our 60s, the withdrawals start happening faster. That's why it's so important to make those calcium deposits count. It's not about fear, it's about freedom. The freedom to keep walking, dancing, gardening, playing with grandkids, or even just reaching that top shelf without a second thought. And doesn't take massive changes. Just a spoonful of seeds, a cup of beans, a handful of greens. They all add up. They're simple, they're natural, and they're powerful. Because sometimes the best medicine isn't medicine at all. It's the food we choose every day. Now that we've explored the strength-packed inside tiny seeds, hearty beans, and those beautiful dark leafy greens, let's keep going. There are more surprising sources of calcium waiting to be discovered. Ones that might just change the way you look at your plate. And speaking of changing the way we look at our plate, have you ever bitten into something salty and satisfying and thought, well, this probably isn't healthy, but it sure tastes good? What if I told you that one of the most calcium-rich foods out there is actually salty, tasty, and surprisingly good for you in moderation? I'm talking about sardines. Now, hear me out. Sardines aren't just for crackers at cocktail parties or some odd recipe from the 1950s. These tiny fish are absolute powerhouses when it comes to bone health. Why? Because they're eaten with the bones. Yep, those soft little bones are loaded with calcium. Just 3 ounces of canned sardines with bones deliver around 325 milligrams of calcium. That's nearly as much as an entire cup of milk, and they come with bonus nutrients like vitamin D, which helps your body absorb and use calcium more effectively. Vitamin D is crucial because even if you're eating the right foods, without enough of this vitamin, your body might not be putting all that calcium to good use. And as we age, our skin becomes less efficient at producing vitamin D from sunlight. So having a source in your diet like sardines give your bones a double gift. best: calcium and the helper that makes it stick. If sardines seem a bit much, try them mashed into a pasta sauce, layered on a toast with a bit of lemon and pepper, or stirred into a salad. You might be surprised how quickly your taste buds catch on. And your bones? They'll be cheering you on with every bite. But let's switch gears for a moment. Imagine this. You're at a family gathering, everyone's chatting, maybe someone's grilling, and on the table, you see a dish you haven't paid much attention to in years. Maybe it's collard greens. You scoop a little onto your plate just to be polite. But what if I told you that dish might be one of the best things you could eat for stronger bones? Collard greens are a southern staple. Yes, but they're also quietly one of the richest vegetable sources of calcium. One cooked cup contains over 260 milligrams. That's more than a glass of milk. And again, because it's plant-based calcium, it comes with a blend of other nutrients like magnesium and vitamin K that all work together to support healthy bones. And unlike milk, they don't come with any lactose, which a lot of us start to find harder to digest as we get older. Now, if you're not sure how to cook them, think simple. Sautéed with olive oil and garlic, slow simmered with a bit of broth and onion, or even added to a soup or stew. They're hearty, comforting, and most importantly, powerful for your bones. Of course, strong bones aren't just about one meal or one ingredient. They're about consistency. They're about the small things you do, the choices you make every day. And sometimes those choices are sweet, like snacking on almonds. Yes, almonds. A small handful, say about 1 ounce, has close to 80 milligrams of calcium. That's not quite as high as some of the others we've talked about, but it adds up. And almonds come with other benefits: healthy fats, protein, and a satisfying crunch that makes them a perfect mid-afternoon pick-me-up. You can toss them on a salad, blend them into almond butter, or just grab a small handful when you're watching your favorite show. So far, we've explored sesame seeds, white beans, kale, sardines, collard greens, and almonds. Surprised yet? Each of these is probably something you've walked past in the grocery store 100 times without realizing the secret strength they hold. These foods aren't exotic or expensive. They're not some super trendy health fad. They're just honest, wholesome options that happen to be rich in the one nutrient your bones need more than ever: calcium. And what's beautiful about this list is that it's not just about numbers on a label. It's about the whole package. These foods support your digestion, your heart, your muscles, and yes, your bones. They're the kind of foods that quietly do the work for you, helping you stay mobile, independent, and full of energy. Now, we've talked about 6 incredible options so far, but there's one more to come that might just be the easiest of all, and you may already have in your fridge. Let's keep going. That final food, it's not a seed or a leafy green. It's not fish, nuts, or beans. It's actually a simple, creamy delight that often hides in plain sight on our breakfast tables or tucked away in the fridge. I'm talking about yogurt, specifically fortified plant-based yogurt. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Yogurt? Doesn't that come from milk? And didn't we say we're looking for options with more calcium than milk? Here's the twist. Many plant-based yogurts, like those made from almonds, soy, or oats, are fortified with calcium, often surpassing the levels found in dairy milk. Some brands pack in up to 450 milligrams of calcium per serving. That's nearly half of your daily recommended amount in just one little cup. And the best part? They're often easier to digest, especially for those of us who have a tricky time with dairy. Plus, they often come with probiotics that support gut health, which, as we're learning more and more, plays a huge role in everything from immunity to mood to, you guessed it, bone strength. Think about it. Starting your morning with a bowl of fortified yogurt, maybe topped with a sprinkle of sesame seeds, a few almonds, and a spoonful of white beans blended into a savory spread on the side. That's not just breakfast. That's a strategy. A step toward a life where you don't have to think twice about bending down to pick something up or walking that extra block with a friend or grandchild. Because that's really what this is all about. It's not just about bones. It's about what your bones let you do. They hold you up. They keep you moving. They give you freedom. And the better you take care of them now, the longer they'll take care of you. And here's something else that might surprise you. It's not just what you eat, but how you use that fuel that matters. Getting enough calcium is only part of the puzzle. Movement, even gentle movement, tells your bones to stay strong. A short walk after dinner, stretching in the morning sun, even a little dancing in the living room while your favorite song plays. These aren't just fun, they're powerful. So imagine this. You start your day with something rich in calcium, you move a little more, and you smile knowing you're doing something kind for yourself. You're not just surviving, you're thriving. That energy, that mindset, it spreads. People notice, and maybe they ask, what's your secret? You can tell them, I just started paying a little more attention to what goes on my plate and how it helps me stay strong. Now, I want to leave you with this thought. Every time you eat, you're casting a vote for your future self. Not the younger you, not the old memories, but the vibrant, capable, joyful you that's still growing, still moving, still living with purpose. And that future, it's built one meal at a time. If you've ever felt like getting older means giving up certain things, mobility, energy, independence, let this be a reminder you're not done. Your body still listens. Your choices still matter. And something as simple as a handful of almonds or a bowl of kale, that can be your yes to more walks, more laughter, more life. So next time you're in the kitchen, take a second look at what's on your plate. Maybe even smile at those beans or that leafy pile of greens, because you now know they're doing something incredible, building the strongest version of you. Here's to feeling good, staying strong, and saying yes to the kind of life you deserve, one delicious bite at a time. And if this video sparked something in you, if it made you rethink what's on your plate or gave you that little nudge to take better care of your bones, then don't let it stop here. Hit that subscribe button right now and join a community that's all about living stronger, smarter, and happier at every stage of life. Because this channel isn't just about nutrition tips or health facts. It's about empowerment. It's about giving you the tools to take control of your well-being, to stay active, to stay independent, and to live with more energy and confidence every single day. And trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. So go ahead, subscribe, hit the bell so you never miss a beat, and share this with someone you care about. Because small steps taken together lead to big change. Let's keep